What's up, guys? This is Brave, and I'm back with another review of Love is Blind. This is going to be season 4, episodes 6 through 8. Let's jump right into the review. So, I'm going to break this down couple by couple, and then I'm going to lastly talk about Chelsea's birthday party. So, first things first, let's go ahead and get Zach and Bliss out the way because the way I thought this was going to go is not how it went, and I'm quite disappointed. So, we have Bliss and Zach. They actually met up. And here's the thing, the entire time while he was there, he was going on and on about how Irina treated him like shit and how he was over her on day 2. And I'm just like, all right, Bliss, she knows her worth. She is not going to fall for this man, right? So she looks like she's ready to move on to something new because she already knew who Irina was. She experienced the Irina that he finally saw. So I was like, all right, cool. She's about to let this man do all this talking and then she's going to exit like the bad bee that she is. But I was wrong because all the energy that she was giving, at least in this first meeting that they had, is not what we ended up with. Because the sad part about this entire situation is that Bliss is so much better than Irina. Like, this woman actually remembered your birthday. She made you cupcakes. You know what I'm saying? She tried to make you feel special, and you still chose this other girl. For what reason, I don't know. But when I saw that, Bliss was gonna put that jacket on, it looked like that was like the end. Like she was done. She was walking out the door. Y'all, why did we then see her meet up at Zach's apartment? I said, what is this? So she comes in or whatever, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cook for you. And he done ruined the steaks. I said, yeah, like you ruined the opportunity to be with her. Move on, girl. Know your worth. You are not second best. Come on now, Bliss. I just, I wanted so much better for her. I really did. But no, she wants to go ahead and entertain Zach. So, next time that we saw them, they're actually on like a yacht or like a boat, and they're like talking, having a good time, middle of nowhere. This man decides to go ahead and propose. I'm just like, did you even think this through? Did you? No? Okay. So, because it just seemed so random. She was like mid talking, and like the moment didn't seem special at all, but they got engaged. Woo. Happy for them, are we? Not really. Now, I have not watched this show, you guys, since the first season, so I'm just a little confused. Have they been doing this to where the second best also gets to move into the apartment building as well, as long as they're engaged? Like, or is this a new thing? I don't know, but next thing you know, Bliss and Zach, they actually move into the apartment building together, and they have a conversation about how she can't stop thinking about how, she was the second choice. And within this conversation, I'm just like, he's not even doing a good job at letting you know that you should be secure in a relationship with him. So it's going to be a no for me. Sorry, not sorry. He was not assuring her enough that he is the one who messed up terribly by choosing somebody else. But I'm going to go ahead and move on from that. Y'all, let's talk about Micah and Paul real quick. So Micah and Paul, she actually questioned Paul, which surprised me. She questioned Paul to see if there was anything going on with him and Irina, because it was clear on the last episodes that Irina was very interested in Paul, and she's trying to get your man, girl. So he's like, no, that is nothing that I want. She was very handsy with me at the pool, but I ain't got no interest in this girl. According to Paul, he has secured his relationship with Micah, so he is not checking for no damn Irina. And I don't blame him because Irina is definitely not his type. Hell, Micah not even his type if we want to be honest. So, Micah, I feel like she has redeemed herself a little bit this episode. Or should I say these couple of episodes? Because she was not catty like she was when she's with Irina. And I'm just like, okay, so clearly Irina brings something out of you that you should avoid at all costs. Because you were definitely a mean girl in the house with the girls. And then also you were being a bit messy when it came to you and Kwame having that conversation at the pool. But now I'm kind of like, or maybe that was Irina who decided to stir it up because she was the one who was like, Kwame, go do this, Kwame, blah, blah, blah. Maybe it was Irina the whole time. Nonetheless, we also see a confrontation between Micah and Irina because Micah's like, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. So she tells Irina how she feels that Irina wasn't her real friend. Like, how are you trying to get with my man when we have been friends? We've been rocking with each other this entire time we were in the pods. One thing that has annoyed me is that they're like, we were best friends. Y'all gotta stop saying that best friends were. You knew this girl for what, 2 weeks? Maybe? Cut it out. She is not your best friend. But what was the end result of that conversation? Basically, Irina saying that I would never try to date Paul. That's your man. I'm your best friend. I'm going to rock with you. Blah, blah, blah. Again, do I trust Irina? No. Should Micah? No. I mean, Paul, I don't see him going for her, but still, I don't trust Irina. So let's talk about these family meetups that we got to see with them. Baby, when it came to Micah meeting Paul's mom, she was all here for it. She said, I Googled this girl and I think I found all her family information. The mama was on it, okay? She did like Micah. She really hit it off with the family. Like his mom really did rock with Micah. Now, at one point we did see Paul's house, y'all. I just want to throw this in there. Everything looked thrifted and vintage. When he said he got that couch from off the side of the road, I said, oh, absolutely not, sir. Absolutely not. Honestly, his apartment was giving me like college dorm room low key. Because everything looked old and clearly she wants everything new. So I am very interested to see the mix of both worlds when it comes to Micah and Paul. Oh, but when it comes to her parents, y'all, her parents meet Paul, and you can tell that her mom was not comfortable. She was not comfortable with the situation. You know, she doesn't really know Paul like that. And on top of that, this is a very accelerated process. But one thing that I will say is that the mom did not express it to Micah. The mom just tried to be very supportive because she wants to see her daughter happy, and I did appreciate that. The dad, on the other hand, it honestly did not matter. The fact that Paul's name and his name was Paul, Paul was a shoe-in. He was like, okay, great, his name is Paul just like me. Don't have anything to worry about. I'm like, sir, you might want to ask a few questions. Just maybe, you know? So we learned something new about Micah, and that is the fact that she actually splits her time between Seattle and Arizona. She has a place in Arizona, and she's like, I split my time there. Would you be willing to go to Arizona? And honestly, Paul did not look enthusiastic about that at all. Paul don't look like he want to do nothing in Arizona. He doesn't want any part of that state. I'm not sure if Paul is really willing to try to split his time as well between Arizona and Seattle, but we shall see if they make it as a couple. Now, one thing that I really want to talk about was the fact that Paul got to meet some of Micah's friends, right? Now, he met this one friend, y'all. I have no idea what this chick's name was, but honestly, she just looked like a blonde-haired Irina. So, they have this meetup or whatever, and the friend kind of gets into a confrontation with Paul. It was something about the friend being very opinionated or something like that, and Paul was like, I don't care about her opinions, basically. And the friend was quite offended. And it's like, well, you should care or something like that. And I'm just like, girl, do you want to be with Micah? Like, why are you going so hard right now on this man? He probably shouldn't care about your opinions because at the end of the day, he's not dating you. So when the camera crew asked, I guess, how do the girls feel about Paul? One friend is like here for him, but then you have the other friend who's like, no, I'm not feeling him at all. Like, girl, go get your own man, and then maybe we'll be interested in what you got going on. But that was pretty much what happened between those two. Now let's talk about, let's do Jacquelina and Marshall. Y'all, When I tell you they have had way more downs than ups, and on top of that, I think that one of them definitely needs to be on some type of meds. Yeah, I just gotta throw that out there. So they both have told their families about them going through this experience and them finding somebody, right? All right, cool. That sounds like this should be a great thing for both of them. However, her family is not really feeling it. I think especially her mom wasn't a fan of her, getting married, not knowing this guy like that. And that's understandable. So we got this man out here cooking gourmet meals for her, y'all. Gourmet meals. And she treats him like garbage. I just have to point that out. Because he over here making, what was it, pancakes or waffles or something. But he made it all fancy for her. And she just seemed very like, it's not that she's ungrateful, but it's just like his nice gestures that he does. She doesn't really appreciate them, I feel like. She's being nice, like, oh, thanks, babe. But they don't really matter to her. Nonetheless, Jackie is supposed to meet his family. Now she starts getting stressed out of nowhere. Then she completely shuts down. He's trying to support her. He's like, do you want me to leave the house? Do you want me to just take like a walk? How can I support you? And I'm just like, here we go again, where Marshall is fully trying to support Jackie, and she is lashing out at him once again. So she finally calms down, and Marshall's sister actually comes in. And oh, actually, before that happens, she talks about how her mom is not supportive of this situation, right? Now, my whole thing is this, girl: either you're going to choose happiness or you're going to choose your family, because clearly your family must not want you happy, because this is a good man sitting in your face. Like, for real, Marshall's a good guy. So, like I said, his sister comes over. They have a good conversation. I'm like, all right, cool. This should go well. Y'all, why is it that the next time that we see Marshall and Jackie, it's the aftermath of a fight? I'm just like, first of all, who is the camera crew? Because y'all are not doing y'all job. Why do we never see them get into it how we need to? I mean, we got to see it a little bit, but I wanted to see when she was telling him to man up. You know what I'm saying? I need all the context I can get. So she decides to say that he needs to man up and that he was not doing grown man stuff. What that entails, we don't know. This man left the apartment, and he said that he left because he didn't want to blow up on her. And I was like, you know what? This man has been in therapy, and also it's clear that he really cares about her. Because if he didn't care about her, he would have been rude, disrespectful, yelling at her the same way she was probably yelling at him. And it would have been a very toxic situation. So he goes back to the apartment, and she up in there packing her stuff up. I said, "Oh, sis, why are you packing your things?" She tells this man, "Oh, you need to be more aggressive." Then she's mad because they're not hooking up with each other. And I'm just like, well, girl, it takes two people last time that I checked. You keep telling him to be more aggressive and to do this and do that, but like, why aren't you trying to seduce him? So again, the fact that she said that he needs to be more aggressive, though, he's like, I'm not an aggressive guy. And she got mad at him because he was clapping during the argument, right? Here's the thing. Marshall, he's not going to come at you crazy. He's going to come at you very respectfully at all costs. But you decide to push him there, and now he's like yelling back at you, and you got the audacity to be mad, talking about some who you clapping at. This is what you wanted. This is what you asked for. So you can't be mad at that, girl. So at this point, he's expressed to her that she doesn't make him feel seduced either, but he's always touching on her, trying to love on her, and she doesn't treat him the same. She doesn't even tell him that she loves him. So, she said something to him, I can't remember, but he basically told her that she was a project. Now, here's the thing. He may not have meant it in that way, and he absolutely apologized for that, because in the heat of the moment, he said that she was a project. But I think coming from where his stance is you're used to being in bad, toxic relationships. Me, on the other hand, I'm not that guy. So I'm going to try to offer you something better, as well as show you that there is another way in the world. You don't always have to live in toxicity. You don't. So according to him, you know, he feels like he wants to help her reach her full potential. And I can definitely see him being that type of partner. Um, I appreciate him for correcting himself in that moment and realizing that it was in the heat of the moment that he called her a project. She does feel bad at the moment, I guess, and they hug, but I feel like honestly, Jackie, it's kind of like she's moving out of fear. Like she fears loving somebody who can actually love her back. She fears being with somebody who actually cares about her, is not trying to argue with her all the time and be toxic with her. But at the same time, she enjoys it. She loves that type of energy, and that's just who she is. But let's just go ahead and move on to Kwame and Chelsea. So he actually meets her dad, and her dad seemed really cool. He seemed really chill. He was all here for them getting engaged. And we learned that Kwame, on the other hand, well, his mom, not so much. So his mom, at one point, was not even answering his calls. She was avoiding his phone calls or whatever. And when he tried to call her again, Chelsea is like, "Oh, do you want me to be on the phone with you?" And he's like, "No." And I'm like, "Yeah, Chelsea, this was not the time or the place for you to try to involve yourself in the conversation with him and his mom, because I don't think you want that." I feel like if Chelsea would have been on that phone, that mom probably would have went off on her. I really think so. So he does have a conversation with his mom. Kwame knew not to put that phone on speakerphone because y'all know every time you watch reality shows, whenever they're on the phone, they put the phone on speakerphone so we can hear that conversation. Baby, I'm pretty sure his mom was saying some not so nice things about him and probably cussing him out, because how dare you get on national TV and get engaged and do an experiment, and your mom was no way, shape, or form involved. I mean, that's pretty much sums up how she felt. So basically, his mom was very disappointed in him. She said that she doesn't think that he used his head and he did not make a good decision. Now, she ain't happy for him at all. I mean, at all. And I just feel like him not getting his mother's approval, that probably is weighing heavy on him, because for most people, they want their parents to approve their partner as well as them getting married. Because if anything, it sounds like when they do get married, if they make it to the altar, his mom is not going to be there. Who wants to get married and not have their mom be there, who has probably been a rock his entire life? You know what I'm saying? So we learned a few other things about Kwame and Chelsea, and the fact that Kwame is actually living in Portland. He's not in Seattle, but he's going to have to go ahead and pack up and move because he works remotely, so it's easier for him to transition to live with Chelsea. But here's the problem. He likes his walking path, he likes his social life in Portland, and he doesn't know anybody in Seattle. So this will be him making a very large compromise, because he's completely changing everything that he's used to. Another thing that they talked about on this show was the fact that they may possibly want kids. And I'm just like, where were y'all when y'all was in the pods that y'all couldn't have a conversation about if y'all wanted kids or not? Nonetheless, Chelsea says that she wants to have kids really within 3 to 4 years. And it's clear that he may not want kids. I feel like Kwame is used to the lifestyle that he's in. And also on top of that, even him as a married person, he still wants it to just be him and his partner. I feel like he may be the type of person that wants a kid when he like 45. But by that point, Chelsea won't be having no kids. You know what I'm saying? I feel like she probably would leave him before she gets to that point. Because most women, especially if she wants multiple kids, she ain't gonna be waiting that long. So they may have to compromise on that as well. Who knows? Now, he feels like he's making a lot of compromises by moving and now potentially having kids. And I feel like it's a lot for him to, process. But we'll talk about them a little bit later. Y'all, let's talk about my faves. That's going to be Brett and Tiffany. He met with her closest friends, and that went very well. Her closest friends were like, just make sure you take care of our girl. And I was like, okay, cool. Because he seems like he's going to take care of her. Now, this is the part that sold me, y'all. What sold me was when they went to that apartment and he was showing her around. First of all, it was very clean, neat. The only problem was that it was only one bedroom. And when she asked him, where would she be able to like set up a little desk so that way she could do her work, this man said, oh, if you like this building, I can just get a 2 or 3 bedroom here. Baby, I was here for that. Right then and there, I would have been like, all right, y'all can go ahead and stop these cameras. I gotta be with my man. I would have been my man, my man, my man. Because the way he said that, oh yeah, Tiffany got a good one. So the fact that he just said that he could just up and get a bigger place, we ain't gotta squeeze you in. I want to make a space for you to be comfortable when you do your work. Oh my God, I'm telling y'all, Tiff got the good one. Tiffany is the winner in this situation. So we also see them have a conversation about finances. And, she's like, I'm secure with my spending and how much I make. He says that he's secure with his finances. And she's like, wait, but you like expensive things? Because, he had like a lot of gadgets, like, tech stuff around his house. And she's like, I looked at your closet. You have a lot of expensive stuff. And he's like, yeah, I like nice things, but, I don't just splurge on it. He's not just out here buying designer this and that every time he goes shopping. So they have a conversation about, how the bills will be split and all this stuff. And one thing that I wanted to point out was the fact that I think that he probably makes more money than her. So that's why it seems like he's splurging on stuff more than she is. And then when it came to the bills, though, he was like, I don't mind paying 75%. Or if you want to do 60-40 for the bills, whatever the number is, as long as it doesn't seem like you're my roommate and we got to be sending money back and forth to each other, we good. I was like, you know what? I just love this for them. I really do. I am here for Brett and Tiffany. Fingers crossed they make it down the aisle. All right, y'all, let's talk about Chelsea's birthday. So the whole group gets together, and I mean everybody from out the pods, right? They get together for Chelsea's birthday. First thing that you notice, Marshall is there. He comes alone. And that is because him and Jackie have gotten into it yet again. Last time we saw them, I think they were, hugging it out or something? No, maybe not. Nonetheless, we see that he has arrived alone, right? So, next thing we notice is, oh, Josh is there. Baby, when I tell y'all, Josh was the most loudest, obnoxious person in the room, I feel like I can hear him in the background of everybody's conversations. Everybody's. We actually saw Tiffany have a conversation with Kwame, and she was trying to give him some good advice on the fact that, you are going to be making a lot of sacrifices and compromises when it comes to this relationship, but at the end of the day, you are going to be married. I feel like she was trying to give him the best advice that she could because she was letting him know that, if y'all paths do not align, then maybe this ain't the situation for you. Which is true. If you and Chelsea do not align with each other in the way that you think will fit your lifestyle, then maybe y'all don't need to be together. Now, here we have Micah. She's talking to Bliss about Irina and her behavior. And she's still mad that this girl was trying to get her man. Now, I will say this. I feel like Micah was not that much, or at least it seems like Micah must not have been that much of a mean girl because she's still able to talk to the other women. It seems like Irina definitely separated herself from everybody and just clung on to Micah, which is very weird. So, oh, I gotta point this out. Brett and Marshall. When I tell y'all I love this relationship between these two black men, I love their relationship because Marshall is able to go to Brett and confide in him about the situations that have been happening with Jackie and how she wants this toxic love. And that's just not who he is. He is not about to be toxic towards her. And he just wants to feel loved by this woman. Like, she doesn't even tell him that she loves him. She will literally tell him, I fuck with you tough. Like, what kind of street shit is that? Like, girl, this man is all lovey-dovey and romantic, and you are definitely giving him hood love. And he don't know nothing about that. So, like I said, I love the fact that Brett is like the big brother for Marshall, and hopefully they continue that throughout their entire life. I really hope that for them. Y'all, Jackie shows up. This man, Marshall, he offers her his coat. Now, here's the thing. I feel like the only reason why he did that was because Josh was in the room, and it was to kind of, put claim on her. Or maybe she mentioned that she was cold, and that's just not a part of the clip that they let us hear. Now, you can tell when Jackie saw Josh, he was her type. You can tell for sure. Also what happened? Kwame decided to have another conversation with Micah. I'm about sick of him and Micah having these conversations. I really am. Because this is what? Chelsea's birthday. Let's not forget that. So you mean to tell me it's Chelsea's birthday and you decide to ask Micah if, she feels like she made the right choice? Now, her answer is that she's hopeful, and then when she reversed and asked the question to him, he didn't really answer. But it's clear that they still have a connection. I'm just like, Kwame, just admit that you really want to be with Micah and you don't want to be with Chelsea. Just say it at this point. Just say it out loud. Because it's bad enough you doing all of this on her birthday. So, here's the thing that was throwing me off, y'all. Now, let me know if this threw y'all off. Why is the group not feeling Josh? Like, I don't know what he did while he was in the pods. Did I miss something or what? Because Bliss was like, how dare he be here or something like that. And I'm like, wait, what did Josh do? Then we actually saw him talk to Marshall. And that was strange because he kept calling himself Mr. Steal Your Girl. And when Marshall said, if you can steal her, you can have her, I said, yes. Let this man have this broad because she ain't worth it, Marshall. You could do so much better. Now, here's my thing. I don't know if Josh was high or if he was on something or if he was just drunk, but clearly something wasn't right because he seemed like he was all over the place. So we literally watched that man go shoot his shot with Jackie, even though he knows that this girl's supposed to be engaged to Marshall. I'm like, this is way too messy for me, but I'm going to keep watching. Let me know what y'all thought about episodes 6 through 8. Which couple are y'all rooting for? And go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I will talk to y'all on the next one. Bye, guys.